Hey, diddle, diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon.
Coming to you live from the Phoenix Holding Studio, it's Late Night Live with Not Donald Trump. Tonight, we welcome Jordana Fox and Crypto Ant from Node City, plus some degenerate gamblers, and a whole bunch of crazy apes. Featuring Jean-Baptiste and Stay Human. Please allow me to introduce myself. Here's Donnie. Thank you. Thank you. Your wonderful audience. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, stop clapping. Good evening, ladies and DJs, and welcome to another very special episode of Late Night Live with Not Donald Trump, where I have the honor and privilege of hosting tonight's show from the lavishly luxurious Phoenix Holding Studio. I'm, of course, your host, Not Donald Trump, as well as just a regular businessman and degenerate investor. Our guests tonight are Jordana Fox and the Crypto Ant from Node City, presented by Vice World Tokens. Thank you both for joining us here tonight in the Phoenix Holding Studio. It's a pleasure to meet you. How are you both on this lovely evening?
Great, brilliant, raring to go.
Excellent. Pleasure to meet you, and we're happy to have you with us. Now, before we start, I just want to give a quick briefing on how this is going to work. We'll have an open floor after my questions are done, at which point we'll be allowing the rest of the participants to raise their hands. Until the time, the rest of these filthy degenerates will remain muted. And just a reminder to those of you listening that absolutely none of us here are financial advisors, and you should always, always do your own research. Tonight, you lucky listeners have the chance to win a coveted whitelist slot and a BUSD giveaway for the best questions asked either by voice or by text during the open floor segment of tonight's show. So, now that we got all that out of the way, are you ready to begin?
Yep.
Perfect. So to start us off here, before we talk about the project itself, let's get to know a bit more about you. Who the hell are you, and why should these DJs trust you and your team with their hard-earned beans?
So my name is Jordana Fox. I've been in the adult industry for over 20 years. I worked as a dancer. I worked in films. I've done TV presenting, and I've done all sorts, around the adult industry. I've also been working for nearly a year now on Vice World. So I'm the CEO of Vice World, which is a blockchain startup based around a world of Vice, basically. So yeah, I've got an amazing team. So I've got Crypto Ant, who's kind of like my right-hand man. He's really good with numbers and kind of organizational skills and, just being the voice of reason sometimes when I get all these crazy weird ideas like pimps in the metaverse. But, and then we have some really good devs. So we've got blockchain dev. We've got, front end devs, React dev. We've got a number of really good mods and administrators, business administrators. We've got a really good team. It's around 10 of us full time working on Vice. So, that's where we're coming from.
Excellent. So, that being said, then, how did you, who else is in your team, and I guess, how did you all come together to create this, not only, I guess, Node City, but, touching base back on the original Vice World token?
Yeah, so in regards to Vice World, it came about because I'm an entrepreneur anyway. I've always sort of run businesses as a finance manager of a construction company as well, because OnlyFans was pretty flexible. So I kind of, moved towards that towards the end, and I went to uni and got my business degree. So I kind of I'm business minded anyway. I've been in blockchain investing since 2017, and I kind of got more involved with it around 2 years ago. Taking it more seriously and learning more. And I was asked to be the ambassador on a couple of adult tokens, actually. Most of them aren't around anymore, and one of them is still around. And I kind of was messaging, you know, people kind of my ideas on the team and sort of saying, look, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. And, you know, it came really apparent to me that there wasn't actually any industry knowledge. These people just kind of had a bit of money and thought, I'll do an adult token because it's cool. I'll get women, and you know, I might make a bit of money. And they didn't really have any industry knowledge. So that was the first thing that stood out to me. So, you know, there was definitely a gap in the market. And then with my own personal sort of payments and things getting frozen, you know, with my own accounts, that's kind of how the idea came about. And then in regards to constructing the team, you know, I've met a vast amount of people along the way, just from talking to people, you know, at different events and, you know, in the industry. Obviously, I'm friends with the former fake taxi driver who now films for our series, which is Vice Taxi, which has already been filmed.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really good.
And I think, honestly, like fake taxi is something just, it's the most iconic, not taxi service in the world, I'd say.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, obviously I've done taxi a couple of times, so I knew the driver. So you know, he left. He's no longer with Fake Taxi, so he's filming Vice Taxi now. So we've got the original driver, which is fantastic. And then in regards to the team, yeah, like I say, it's just getting to know. It's just talking to people, knowing people in and around the blockchain. So some have come from other projects, some have come from, you know, places we've been mutual kind of friends have put us in touch and stuff. So yeah, we've got a really nice, trustworthy team. They're not just sort of people I've picked up along, you know, from nowhere. They're all sort of checked out and docs, and yeah, we're really, really good. We've got a really good team.
Oh, definitely sounds impressive. So that being said, let's turn our attention now to the project itself. What is your project, and what makes it worth investing in?
So the project overall is Vice World. So Vice World is a limited company. It's registered here in the UK. So Vice World incorporates anything to do with Vice. So we're doing, as I've touched on, we're doing the Vice Taxi porn series. So that's a, you know, a porn series that we are now hosting actually on our own Tube site. So we've got a Tube site, Vice World TV, which is a little bit like Pornhub, but it is going to be for the metaverse. So the current trends in porn are showing that a lot of people are looking for 3D and, you know, anime. All of these kind of porn genres are really, really much higher sort of search rate than they were past the last 5 years, and they're increasing all the time. So we kind of want to jump on that. So we kind of want to be the porn hub of the future. So we've got Vice TV, and we've got this F series that goes on that. We've also got 2 NFT marketplaces. We've got multiple creators from all over the world. We've got a really good following in Brazil, a lot of Brazilian models and Dutch as well. So we've got those 2 NFT marketplaces. You can go on there now and you can buy NFTs. And then we also have a forum, which is VVibe, which is kind of just finding its feet now. But that's going to be basically like, and it's like an advertising tool. So we wanted to have an advertising tool whereby our models kind of put that together. Also under development, we've got the OnlyFans kind of style app, which should be out in the next month or 2. So that's a crypto-based style OnlyFans, which our existing creators that we already have will go on. So that's kind of where Vice is up to until this point. So that's the past 9 months since we've been running, what we've been working on. And the live streams obviously are going to be in-app as well. And then now what we're doing is we're setting our sights on the Node farm and the Node kind of business. There's a lot of hype around nodes at the moment. AVAX is one of my favorite chains, so I wanted to go multi-chain. With us having our own metaverse, we're building a metaverse. It's been under construction for several months. We're working with software from Blender, NVIDIA, and you know, Reallusion, iClone 7, all of these really high, you know, definition kind of software systems. We're using those, so we're going to be in beta testing in the summer. So now we thought it's time to put some, I wanted to make it so people could earn in our metaverse. So, you know, there's models out there that don't necessarily do so well, so then they have to kind of, you know, do other things and, you know, put themselves in unsafe situations. So I wanted to be able to offer that kind of earning opportunity within Vice World metaverse. So the Sin City, which is a cyberpunk themed, basically like a kind of underground, grimy Las Vegas if it was set in 3001. So yeah, we've got that coming out, and this new token and this new kind of node protocol is off of the back of that. So the assets that are in Vice World that's coming out over the summer, the asset drops are happening tonight and next week. And with those asset drops, they will be node backed. So you will get 10 nodes with your asset. So if you can be a pimp, a dealer, or a doll in the metaverse, which is quite cool because we wanted to make it cool. So, the dealers have got their lean and their weed, and then we've got the pimps. Obviously, they've got, their canes and their kind of fancy hats and stuff. And we'll probably go into this in a minute.
Sorry, I do just want to jump in, actually. Just mentioning before about the performers having the ability to earn through the metaverse. So they have an alternative ability to generate income besides just relying on tips, right?
Yeah.
From my understanding.
So this will obviously, we're going to give them the app and stuff anyway, so that they're going to have that anyway. But there's some models that maybe they don't kind of necessarily look in real life how they can come across, and some people are just better online than they are in person, right? So we wanted to give them the opportunity to earn, especially from those kind of countries where crypto's really coming to the forefront, like I say, like Brazil and El Salvador. We've got a lot of models from over that way. So in regards to the metaverse, you will have your asset. So you would have your Vice doll asset, or your pimp, or your dealer, and that will be backed by nodes. So your nodes will release a daily reward every day. So your character is essentially earning 24 hours when you're asleep. 365, your character's earning you a passive income.
Interesting.
It's really good. And during the gameplay as well, and depending on how diamond handed you are, you'll get reputation, and you'll get there'll be like little missions and things in the metaverse that can kind of increase your reputation, and all of these things go to adding towards your assets value. So your character can then be like a top pimp or a top dealer, or a legendary Vice doll, and they'll be in the Hall of Fame gallery in the NFT metaverse. It's really fun. So the more you play it and the more diamond handed you are, basically you kind of can make money that way. And then, of course, we have a charity wallet attached to our Vice token anyway. So we plan on kind of funding models who want to go on to learn to create their own assets that they can sell in the metaverse. So, for example, they might want to design some swimwear or some bikinis, or some different kind of drugs that they want to sell. So we want to kind of get those through, get them trained up on the iClone and the character creator and stuff, so they can make those assets and sell those as well.
Sounds like a very interesting gameplay. So the overall model then of the gameplay, is it kind of like what I'm thinking of, Mafia Wars in a way? Because what I'm noticing is that you've got your dealers, you got your pimps, you got your dolls, but then what is the overall not necessarily plot, but I guess what is the goal that players are looking to do when they enter this gaming environment?
So it's a virtual world. So it's a virtual world where you can hang out. We're going to have concerts in there. We're going to have urban music concerts. We've just had partnerships just now. We've made a really good partnership with someone that's got several rappers and their merchandise. So we're going to be able to give out free merchandise to our community. Really, it's a social kind of construct that you can earn from as well. So I don't really know how Mafia Wars works, but I'm assuming that's more gamified, whereas this is more social with gaming elements. It's more for kind of the concerts and growing your weed and earning your passive off of your crypto as well, obviously. And just showcase it. We want to team up with a number of adult businesses. We've been in talks with a tequila shop company this week, a sex shop. We want to get those people having plots of land in our metaverse. So essentially, you'll be able to go into that metaverse and you'll be able to go into a sex shop and you'll be able to buy an NFT of a sex toy, but then you'll also get that real life asset as well. That real life physical item. So it's more a kind of a world for experience. rather than just like, oh, you have to kind of do this and complete this challenge. Of course, there's going to be gamified elements to it, but we are trying to be the number one 18 plus metaverse.
Interesting. So you're taking the metaverse opportunity and expanding it into, I guess you could say, the pornoverse.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine, you've got London. I can only associate it to London because I don't really know any other red light areas. But so say if you've got London and you've got Oxford Street where everybody does their high end fashion, and then you go into Soho and there's kind of like, you've got kind of your LGBT community, you've got your sex shops, you've got your peep shows and all that kind of stuff. We want to do that, but we want to turn it it's cyberpunk. So our Vice dolls are they have cyborg elements to them. So they are sex dolls that have become kind of self-aware, and they no longer want to work as sex dolls. They want to earn their own money, and they kind of team up with the gangsters and the pimps, and they just all hang out in Vice World. And that getting the urban music involved in Vice World, I think, is a big thing, to have that kind of musical element to it. So as you progress through the node routes on the up and coming Node City, which is what we're kind of promoting tonight, Node City, as you progress through those routes, you'll be able to get a penthouse at the end of it. So if you're not selling daily and you're compounding and you're working your way through those cycles, then you'll get an actual penthouse metaverse in the metaverse, and the penthouses actually look over the music arena. So they will look out, and you'll get free tickets to those kind of concerts. So yeah, there's a lot to it, and partnering with existing adult companies is definitely key to this.
So that being said, the Vice World token in Node City, is it the Vice World token that fuels the economy within the city rather than there being like a separate token for that project?
No, there's a separate token, which is Doll token. It's an AVAX token. Vice token is the one that is for the app. So it's going to be for the OnlyFans. It's for currently for the NFT marketplace, the VIP marketplace, and the adult NFTs that you can buy already in Vice token. So we're not taking any utility away from Vice, but there is a buyback and burn mechanism within the Doll token from a percentage of the claiming and the sales that go on over on AVAX, which will obviously give us a nice floor over here on Vice as well. But Vice is kind of like, the mother token, and then you've got Vice, which is Doll, which is the AVAX for the rewards and for the actual assets, the core assets, and then kind of once we've trained some people up and they're selling, different kinds of clothing, that will be Vice tokens. So they're both very much intertwined, and they both have a role to play within Vice World. But the AVAX one is for the AVAX chain, obviously.
Interesting. So sorry, you mentioned that so the project's starting out on the AVAX chain. I think you mentioned before, are you looking to expand into other cross-chain opportunities?
Yeah, we definitely are. We're in talks with a number of people, actually, because we want to bridge Vice, obviously, to AVAX as well. So then they're both on AVAX. That would be amazing. And then I've been contacted by two other people, actually, to do with grants and things of going over there. So it's just kind of doing what we feel like is best at the time before we get too many too much going on. So we've got our metaverse assets that are dropping and the nodes that are dropping. So we're going to focus on those first, and then we can talk about going, multi-chain. But definitely the metaverse is multi-chain, and we want to be able to accept, a number of different kind of payments for those.
That definitely sounds like a solid plan. And I guess just kind of an aside thing here is that when I first saw this project come up in the schedule, I didn't actually know that the Vice World team was behind it. So when I saw Node City, like when I see titles, sometimes I like to come up with little skewed versions just as humor. And when I saw Node City, the first thing I thought is, you erase the top of the O in Node City and you get Nude City. So it's very appropriate that Node City happens to be presented by Vice World Token. So just perfect coincidence.
Send nodes.
There we go. Hot nodes, get them here. Please send nodes.
Nodes.
God, I
yeah,
love it.
we've been around for a while now, so I think our resilience has shown. We've been in the BSC for 9 months, which is kind of like 9 years in crypto time. So
Oh God, exactly.
doing pretty well.
Oh, definitely, I agree. So that being said, what are your short-term and long-term plans for this project? Tell us a bit about your roadmap.
For Node City, so in regards to Node City, we are getting the assets out on tonight. The first asset drop is tonight, which is the Crazy 88. So the Crazy 88 asset passes come with 10 nodes. They come with some other kind of accessories that are exclusive to just having that. And when you buy these nodes, you get the asset for the metaverse. In the future, when you buy the nodes, you will only get the asset on completion of 3 cycles. We'll go into more of that. But we have the first pre-sale today, which is here on the BSC. So that's on our own website, viceworld.vip. So you'll be able to buy those. But there's only 88, and ViceWorld Gold, diamond and silver VIP card holders will have first dibs on those. And then next week we have the 222 Harmony node pre-sale, which is going to be the AVAX node pre-sale. And then the week after that, the Dole token goes live. So that takes us to around the 14th, 15th of May. And then obviously the next thing after that would be the assets actually being airdropped. So you'll get your assets airdropped to you within 30 days of that launch. They've already kind of been made. So then after that, obviously we go into beta testing for the metaverse, which is in June, July. Again, VIP card holders and pre-salers of the nodes, the Crazy 88s, will get first kind of test and trial of those. So yeah, I mean, obviously, we're going to have staking out as well in that time between. We've got Vice staking already, but we want to have the Dole token staking out in between then as well. So we'll have our pools up.
Excellent. Definitely sounds like a good long-term project based on the information that you provided. So that being said, what would make now the best time to invest in your project?
Now is undoubtedly the best time to invest in our project, because you're going to get a Crazy 88 NFT, and that NFT pass is going to get you 10 nodes. So 10 nodes on the AVAX chain, which are going to earn you passive rewards. So I'm going to let Ant talk a little bit about the rewards in a minute, but these are $400, these passes, and you're getting 10 nodes. So that's really good. Plus you're getting your metaverse asset, plus this it unlocks a number of features kind of later on, in regards to beta testing the metaverse. You get to choose to be a pimp, a dealer, or a dole. And you're going to be first. You're going to be first in the Vice World metaverse. First to be kind of there and start earning that reputation and gaining kind of notoriety from it.
Building your street cred, basically.
Yeah, it's like street cred. I mean, imagine, in 2 years' time when Vice World is flying, which I've no doubt that it will be. People are going to be like, "Wow, you've got a Crazy 88." Like those Crazy 88s are going to be worth a lot of money. I mean,
they'll be flying their seat of their pants without even needing to wear pants.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they're really good, and same with the Harmony ones. It's really good. And plus, if you get into any of these node sales, if you've got any of our VIP cards, then you do get whitelisted for the Dole token as well. So that's a great time. In regards to Vice as well, it's a great time to buy Vice because of the buyback and burn mechanism from the launch of the Dole token. You can kind of, there's 2 ways to kind of make money there.
Sounds like a plan. So then, just want to touch base on I know you mentioned the tokenomics before of the token itself regarding taxes, things like that. For those who are not familiar with how nodes work, what is the underlying function of the node system, and what makes nodes themselves appealing to potential investors?
I'm gonna pass you over to Ant because I know that he's really good with all this stuff. But I'm gonna let Ant answer one because I do a lot of talking. Do you want to take it over, Ant?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Jordana. So yeah, Dole tokens. The Dole token, when they launch, you'll be able to purchase your Dole tokens, and you'll be able to then exchange your Dole tokens for these Node NFTs, which Jordana said they double up as your metaverse asset. And these Nodes NFTs, they've got like really unique and flexible capabilities in their smart contract. The things they're coming out with, it's incredible that the devs are working on, and it allows them to be multitask to generate reward protocols for owners, as well as doing what usually an NFT does. The nodes, therefore, in the sort of node city context, they can be described as simplified as possible. It's a lot more technical behind the scenes, but you can just, to make it easy, you can describe them as reward giving utility NFTs. And what we're doing at Vice World, there's quite a few node projects out there. Some of them, they're really boring, they're really technical, and Vice World, we're making this cool and we're making it simple, and we're bringing down the entry barriers, so your regular investor that doesn't fully understand it can see how this works and see how cool it is, and just allowing more people to invest in Node City and earn this passive reward that we're offering.
Yeah, I think earning a passive reward is the key element to people when they're getting into a node project. These have got a predetermined rate of return on them that you will generate before your Vice Doll needs to retire. So your Vice Doll will retire, and then you'll upgrade to a Renegade, and then you'll upgrade to a penthouse, and then your penthouse will give you lifetime rewards. You're going to have to do some renovations and things to enable the rewards pool to be kind of remain stable, to keep paying everyone out. But essentially, you're going to be earning money while you sleep, and these NFTs, this NFT pass that you can get tonight, you can get 10 of these. You can get 10 nodes, so you can have 10 nodes working for you, and when you're asleep, 365 all the time. Don't have to think about it, don't have to worry about it. Come online, claim your rewards, or compound, build it up, and as the token price goes up, that's potentially a nice little savings pot for you over the year, just passive, just for that $400 investment initially. Take that out. Once you've took your $400 back out, it's all gravy. You've got your passive. And
exactly, you pull your initial out and let the rest ride, right?
And then you've got your really cool kind of asset as well. You've got a pimp or a dealer, which can potentially be going up in value as well as the actual metaverse gains popularity, and we get those different brands and those big influencers and musicians and things onboarding. Those assets are going to be worth a lot of money. I mean, they're going to be airdropped out, so it might be that some of the assets are really appealing to certain people, and they might go for a higher value than other ones. You don't know what one you're going to get. Obviously, you can choose a pimp, a dealer, or a doll, but in terms of kind of stature and how they dress and things like that, you're going to be surprised. So you can kind of make off those as well. But it's really fun.
And just to put a figure on it, so for everyone's understanding, if you you got your Dole tokens, you buy your Dole tokens, and you can then exchange 20 Dole tokens for one Vice Doll node. Then this Vice Doll, it will generate a reward of 0.5 Dole tokens every 24 hours. And it will continue to do that for 120 days until the Vice Doll retires, and you need to upgrade to a Renegade. But so the first 10 Vice Dolls, they're going to cost you 20 Dole tokens, and over this 120 days, it's going to return you 60 Dole tokens. So you're getting 300% back on your Dole tokens over that first node period.
Excellent. And speaking of pulling it out initial, now, of course, smart investors will know that the best way to potentially maximize your profit is to make sure that you don't pull out early. Because by doing so...
It's really interesting. There's so many GameFi strategies coming up for this already. There's that you could just be a daily seller, which is you're not going to get much on in the long run because this node's going to return. But if you just want to buy some nodes and then sell every day, you can. That's up to you. It's not going to work out long term for you, but if that's your strategy, that is. And then what you're touching on, sort of a cash out until break even. So I'm going to take my initial out to start with, and then I'm going to start my compounding.
Yeah, it's kind of a backward way of doing it, isn't it? You're always going to get the most, especially out of this protocol. You're going to get the most, obviously, if you do leave it in, if you can afford to leave it in, because you can compound your way up to that penthouse, rather quickly. And with those penthouses having free tickets to the concerts, we are going to make those penthouses so you can rent them out. So you'll be able to rent out those penthouses in a rental system. So then you can get another income from that when there's concerts on. So if you don't want to attend one of the concerts that is on, you know, maybe you can't be there or you just don't want to go, then you can kind of rent it out. So there's another revenue. I mean, real estate, you know, metaverse real estate is another huge one, and we're kind of combining everything together in this. You know, so I think this is a really, really good opportunity, for people to get involved in something that is growing and has been growing for the past 9 months, and we're just kind of getting there now in regards to the metaverse. But yeah, if you can leave it in there and keep compounding and get yourself a penthouse, that would obviously be ideal.
Definitely. We're calling that strategy maxing out, and you know that's going to be the most rewarding strategy over the long term, certainly, to get up to your penthouse, where the penthouse will generate this lifetime reward, you know. But you're going to have to work, and you're going to have to compound to get there, and you know, act sustainably for the project to get there. And
just to touch on as well, when the other assets go through their cycles, so the pimp and the dealer cycles don't actually start until later in the year, so that encourages kind of new investors to come in at points that potentially you know, in other node projects, when they did, we're going to release our pimp, so then it will go through, the pimp will go through their cycle, and then we're going to release the dealer who will go through their cycle, and one of them ends up with a villa and one of them ends up with a strip club. So you know, you can potentially be a strip club owner in the metaverse, or you could have you know, and go through those. So there's definitely a number of ways of doing it. So yeah, obviously, if you can compound all the way and get those kind of cycles, then that's great.
So leave it in, compound it good and hard, and then max it out.
Yeah.
Excellent strategy. And as well, you mentioned the owning of strip clubs, and that. So I guess if you want to say, like, your real estate kind of becomes, you know, your peel estate, because you know, in certain places, dancers or strippers are also known as peelers. So quite appropriate for. Just had to throw that in there, of course.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you want to go and have that, you can. So then there's ways of earning money from there, you know, with events. I mean, you know, I did my business degree and event management degree. So, you know, I'm big for events. So that's kind of why I'm focused on doing the metaverse events and the concerts. But also, you know, the adult events as well, the stripping and things like that. So yeah, you can definitely arrange that in your strip club. You know, maybe there's a new coin launching and they want to have strippers there, and they want to do like a kind of virtual AMA, and you can do it in the strip club with, you know, it's cool, isn't it? It's a better place than kind of, you know, just Discord doing your AMAs. You can go into the metaverse and do an AMA with strippers and shot girls. Yeah, it's cool.
It just makes me think of that one line from Futurama, and it's basically like, I'm going to do my own AMAs with blackjack and hookers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's cool, isn't it? Like, you have like little investment parties, you know, just like you do at normal strip clubs. You know, you get the guys coming in and they wine and dine their customers. You know, why not? So yeah, it's fun. Really fun.
Exactly.
So much you can do with it. Yeah.
And some metaverse strip poker going on as well, definitely.
Oh, hell yeah. I think everyone would definitely enjoy that. And so that being said, that's an interesting point, actually. So it kind of gives investors an opportunity to kind of become virtual strip club managers. And if that being the case, for you know, real life performers who are coming in to you know, to work and perform in the metaverse, can they go into these different strip clubs and work in them?
Yeah, they can. So we've actually got some really good software that we're using. It's called iPhone 7, and it's able to take a digital kind of scan of your face and your body and recreate you as an avatar in the software. So, you know, if we potentially scan, you know, you could scan me, or you can scan whichever model you want, and that model will be their certified kind of metaverse asset. That will be their one, you know, that will be the contract that we sign with them, that's the only one. And yeah, there's a number of ways you can go with it, you know. So you can potentially have, you know, them pay that model to be your guest, your plus one. But you know, with this is where it ties into our Vice World TV site, in our PornTube site. So obviously right now we've got, you know, anime, hentai, kind of Fortnite and all these other kind of gaming porns that's out there already, that's kind of on there. But what we want to have is our Vice dolls and our pimps and our dealers that are having their own actual sexual experiences within the metaverse, and filming that, recording that within game, and then putting it onto the Vice World TV. So then essentially we're making meta porn stars out of the metaverse, which is great for marketing as well.
Interesting. Now, that being the case, then, I know that 3D porn and hentai and things like that, there is quite a market for that, but I assume that you would also have to try and get some pretty detailed modeling out of it as well. Is there potential that there would be a need for like high resolution modeling in this system, and is there potential that it might require? I guess what's an idea of the type of computer resources that someone would need to effectively run a high detailed Vice World metaverse?
The specifications of it. Now you're getting into the technicals. I know about modeling. We can do a follow-up AMA with the developer on all of what the technicalities would be of that. But we're making it accessible. As far as I know, is that the models can be cloned, so you can scan their body and scan their face. And if I've got a birthmark here, show up, you can scan all the way down. If I want to do a nude scan and you want to scan my vagina, then you can do that, and then sell your virginity. You can do that if you want to. That's how high tech that software is. In regards to what you would need to run it, I guess it would be dependent on the kind of quality that you're going to get. If you want to be having those real, if you want to set up huge monitors, then you can. But yeah, it's my understanding that it would work on a normal kind of computer. Otherwise, that's putting up a really inaccessible kind of bar to most people, and that's not what we want. We want it to be very accessible. So, in terms of the VR stuff, the VR porn and things like that, we've got a head of adult department which has got his own production company, which is obviously he's helping filming the Vice Taxi series that we've got. So in regards to the VR headsets, there's been talk about bringing out some Vice World VR headsets and things like that. But right now we're focusing on just getting that the beta phase up, getting all the groundwork in, and then going from there, because it's just too vast to think about everything that you could do with it. But the thing is with the metaverse is we are really, really early. We're really, half the people just think it's Facebook because they've heard this thing. But a lot of adult companies and businesses are looking for a way to make revenue, because OnlyFans isn't making money anymore. It's oversaturated. You can't be able to make on the porn sites. It's oversaturated. eBay and Amazon have killed the high street sex shops. So adult companies are really receptive to actually being in the metaverse and being at the forefront of that, which is really cool. And it's really kind of ties into the fact that porn was at the forefront of the actual web, becoming where it is, and then I feel like it's really going to be at the forefront of taking the metaverse forward. And it's always the same with adult. We're always kind of pushed out and on the side, and it's like, oh yeah, there might be a little bit. We want to do it so we're main, we're front and center. What we shouldn't be kind of tucked away in the seedy bits, because everybody's over. A lot of people that are over the age of 18 are into kind of all of the things that are going to be in Vice World. So yeah,
excellent. So, that being said then, besides the show that you're on with us right now, what are some other marketing plans that you have in store to help promote this project? I know that a lot of projects don't want to reveal too much about their marketing plans until further on down the road, but how much info are you able to provide us at this time?
Yeah, so obviously with Vice World running for 9 months, we've kind of made mistakes and we've learned from them. I've got a brand new marketing manager who's absolutely insane. So he took he did an amazing market cap on his last NFT project. I couldn't actually get him for Vice because he was busy with that one, and he took it to like millions and millions of dollars. So now he's worth even more, but he's worth his weight in gold, and he has got some really good stuff. He's got some stuff that isn't available. There's some marketing techniques that he's kind of privy to, being in the positions that he's been in, that is a front runner. So kind of like when everyone was first kind of getting on CMC and stuff and then doing that first, we're going to kind of be doing a lot of firsts with other things, which I'm not going to talk about. So that, I think that's key, is having that kind of insider knowledge. We've also got mad connections to, you know, musicians, influencers. You know, I was talking on the phone to somebody the other day who's got the master copies of all these kind of 90s hip hop and R&B artists from the 90s. You know, he's got their master copies. So we've got some really good contacts. We've got, obviously, in the adult industry as well, and then we've got a really good creator partnerships manager that's out in the States, so he can get us a number of top American porn stars, which I think is what kind of Vice was lacking up until now, because a lot of our performers are Brazilian or they're European, so they're very well known in Europe but not necessarily known elsewhere. So that's kind of been a lack for us, despite all of our knowledge. So, you know, we're kind of picking up on all of the things that we missed, and we're going to run with it this time. We've also got our own tube site, our own adult tube site, so we can draw traffic there from Google. And, you know, Google, we can drive traffic to our porn site, which then has ads on it for Node City. It has ads on it for Vice World. If you're going to a porn site because you like looking at avatar porn, you're going to want to buy a Vice doll in the metaverse, you know, like, it's just that kind of guerrilla marketing and different techniques of marketing, because paying influencers to do a tweet and things, that doesn't cut it anymore. It might have worked before, but it doesn't work now. Doing some really good AMAs, obviously, and, you know, the same old ads that everybody does, but I think partnerships as well, real world partnerships with real adult projects and real companies, so sex shops and things. You know, if we're partnering with them in the real life, then we get, you know, advertising with them. We've partnered with a metaverse partner as well, which is due to be released soon. And then we have got the people that are developing our actual metaverse have got 1.5 million existing users on the Web 2 space. So they've got virtual worlds on Web 2, and they're going into Web 3, and obviously they're developing worlds for people on Web 3, and they're going to be able to kind of hook those up with their existing Web 2 virtual gamers, which is huge. So there's a lot.
Oh, definitely sounds like it. So that being said, what measures are you taking to ensure the security of investors' assets? Besides the fact that we can see your lovely face here tonight, what other protocols do you all have in place for security-wise?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm public. I'm very public, always been public. And, you know, the team is doxed internally to me. I have total control over the company anyway. We're a registered company in the UK. So, you know, it's not a fly-by-night. We're here to stay. In regards to the 18 plus, you know, we're making sure those safeguards are in place so we don't get any minors in. We're putting all those safeguardings in, and you know, the GDPR and the cookies and all of those compliance, making sure that that's all in order. In regards to the contracts, they're all audited. The new ones are going to go in for audit as well, so we'll make sure that we get a top company to do those. I will post the details of the results of that. Obviously, you know, Vice has proven itself to be secure over the past 9 months, so I don't see that changing. But yeah, I mean, just really being open, transparent, you know, applying to the laws where there are laws, you know, and just keeping our models safe and you know, our investors safe, and respecting their privacy.
Excellent. And so this comes to the last question that I have myself before we open the floor to the studio audience, and is that decentralized finance is still a relatively foreign concept to the majority of mainstream consumers. How will this project help introduce more mainstream investors to DeFi?
It's going to be insane. That's all I'm going to say, right? So you've got a number of games that are on the existing Web2 platform, okay? And in those games, you earn in-game currency. Or on those chats, there's some chat services that you can go on and you can, you know, chat to women and then send them little tokens and stuff. But these tokens don't have any Web3, you know, any Web3 technology behind it. They're just sort of virtual tokens. But people in those kind of spaces and in the gaming space are used to working and used to playing with these kind of virtual currencies. So for them to cross over to crypto, to then just buy in some Dole token or Vice token, it's not that big a jump, because you've already got people who are used to doing that. And once you put in a marketplace, once you get a marketplace and a kind of a little ecosystem in place within the game, that people can actually earn money, and they know that they can cash out and they know they can bring it out, then obviously that's obviously a big draw, because people want to earn a passive income and they want to earn, or if you want to sell your assets in the metaverse. So, we're going to have a number of tutorials and onboarding for it. But I think the gameplay itself, and how fun it is, and also the brands, the fashion brands that we're going to be working with, and the musicians that we're going to be working with, is also key to entry, because people will go out of their way to see their favorite star. They'll go out of their way to see a porn star, but whereas they might not necessarily want to do it just to do something else with crypto. Like, they don't want to come into crypto to invest. We're offering that utility, and a utility that's fun and that people want to get involved in, and it's social. So if you've got somebody, or you're really enjoying a game, you're going to want to get your friends on it. So it's kind of like having those referral systems in place, whereby they can earn money for referring people to come into the metaverse. And it's just all of those things that are interconnected that are going to make it accessible, because it's just going to become more and more mainstream. As you can see, it's happening now. This morning, I just watched the NFT drop from Paco Rabanne. It's happening all of the time. It's getting more mainstream. But yeah, I think Vice World is definitely going to give that utility and that want to kind of come over, rather than just like, oh, I've got to do all of this just to sign up, just so I can, have a wank. No, it's not just going to be that. It's going to be, you're going to be having that kind of lifestyle, your avatar is going to have that reputation with it, and it's like, it's that's how it is. It's fun. It's a game. It's
exactly
a virtual game.
It's plenty more opportunities to engage with it than the one obvious one that most people would usually associate with it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the key as well. And the retail side of it, and the anonymity that comes along with crypto. I mean, if you put sex shops in the metaverse, people really get on board with that, because they don't want their details out there. So, it's really a blockchain is, Web3 technology is perfect for the adult industry. It really is.
No, I completely agree. So that being said, we are now going to turn our attention to the studio audience and open the floor for questions. So if you'd like an opportunity to potentially win a whitelist slot or a BUSD giveaway for your question, please feel free to either raise your hands in the voice chat or post your questions in the text chat. We're going to start by going with Benga, who has hand up in the voice chat. Benga, please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Donald.
Hey, how are you?
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. You have a good and a very understandable presentation. I thank you for that. I have a question with respect to the NFT and the project. Now, I see you have a beautiful image of NFT. Now, this NFT, how will it be impact for the holders of your token? And while holding this NFT, what are the advantages we're going to have with respect to the projects? And how much NFT are you planning to supply into the projects? And how are we going to get this NFT? Are we going to mint them or buy them or get them with your native token? So those are the plans I have with respect to the NFT. Then secondly, with respect to the project as a whole. I see this project is a project that it's gonna be a great one. You're looking to solve a lot of problems, and you need to reach out to the world. And reaching out to the world in crypto space, you should have something in mind. Have plan in engaging some people that doesn't have English as their first language. What are you planning with respect to that? Are you looking up to that aspect, people that doesn't speak English? How do you plan to educate them with your project? Let them know the good things they stand to benefit while holding your token. And what exactly, because sincerely speaking, I love this project. What is the real motivation behind you creating something? Because it is very special in crypto space. Sincerely speaking, it is very, very special. What is the ideology behind the project, or what is there anything you feel before you just come out with this great idea? Thank you.
Thank you. So in regards to the NFTs, so the NFT passes on the Node City are very limited. So there's 22 dolls, there's 33 pimps, and there's 33 dealers. If you buy a pass tonight, they will be airdropped to you 30 days after launch on the AVAX chain. So you can just add AVAX to your network, to your existing wallet, and then they'll be airdropped on your AVAX one. And then there'll be 222 node pre-sales, the node pre-sale as well next week. So there'll only be 300 in total that are going to be released. In regards to the adult NFTs that we have up already, some of them do have utility. They have, they might come with a 20-minute video call, or they might come with, you can buy dresses and things like that models have worn. So you can pay for that in Vice token. It's up to the model what they list it in. Some of them list them in BUSD, some of them list them in Vice token, some of them list them in both. So that's kind of what we've got over there at Vice. So in regards to your second question regarding the languages, we've actually got multiple models on the team that speak 5 or 6 languages, which is amazing. We've got a manager that speaks, that is in Brazil as well. So we've got a lot of Spanish, French, we've got Spanish, French, Indian, Dutch, German. I try and think. We've got a lot. On our website, it's able to be translated, so automatically translate into another country, into another language. So that makes it really easy for the user to kind of navigate around. But with us having these different languages within the team, we're able to get that marketing material and those tutorials out in other languages. So for example, we've just had Queen do some promotional videos. She recorded them all in English, and then in French, and then in Portuguese, and then we'll do the same with the tutorial videos. So we're really trying to reach out to kind of a lot of people. In regards to the Node City website, as soon as you go on it, you'll notice that it says Node City. This is the dash that we're just building. It says Node City, and it's also translated into Japanese underneath. So we are really making a conscious effort to reach everybody. Just that doesn't speak English necessarily.
And Vice Girl, of course, speaks the universal language of love, or at least
exactly.
the language of horny.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, just having those kind of language translations on the site in itself is just really good, and just making use of the assets that we've got on the team that are able to speak different languages. And in regards to the idea, it's just flipping cool, and it's what I want to do. This is what I would want to build. I want to build something that I would want to play and that I would want to be in, and that is what really drives me. That's why I've been working for the last 9 months, 17 hours a day, for not much return, to be honest, so far. But it's resilient, and I know that we're going to get there, and I'm really dedicated to making Vice World, and people will know Vice World, and it will be a great success. It will be, and I hope that mark my words, we'll come back to this in 2 years' time or whatever, and people like she knew, and we'll get a lot of doors slammed in our face on the way, but we'll just continue on, and we'll just do it, and we'll slowly build. And with the connections that we have in the adult space, which those connections are invaluable, you cannot put a price on them. We're gonna do it. I know we are, and it's going to be fantastic. And Node City is going to be right there, and it's going to be getting a lot of people their passive earnings, so they can afford to take that holiday and things like that. That's kind of what drives me.
Awesome. You really have a good plan. Then that means these managers will be looking up to creating community like Chinese community and other Spanish community like that, which will help you in building a long-term sustainability and market cap. Then what problem do you plan to solve with this your project? Because we have a lot of projects in crypto space. What exactly is the problem you plan to solve with your project?
A problem. What problems are we solving? Well, I want to solve the problem of getting, I want to get models away from kind of exploitation. I want to give them power. I want to give them empowerment back to, not have to do that. They do not have to do those personal meetings. Their OnlyFans has stopped their payment this month, so they've had to kind of go on Adult Work or go on a website and go and meet someone in person and put themselves in danger. I want them to be able to have that backup of, actually, I can just go on Vice World and make some money in the metaverse, or how's my node doing? Because their node can be the kind of like their safety, their emergency money, their electric's broken, their car's broke down. I've been in the adult industry for a long time, and, over 20 years. I started in the adult industry when I was under the age of 18, actually. But I've been in the whole of my adult life, and I'm 39 now. And I know that a lot of these people in the industry, they live hand to mouth. They don't live lavish lifestyles, but that is the assumption, is that they do live lavish lifestyles, but they don't. And, they live hand to mouth. If something goes wrong with their car, a lot of them are in impoverished situations, and they need to get money quickly, and we can't rely on banks freezing the money. So I think crypto gives you that opportunity where you'll be able to just go on and cash out and earn an opportunity, earn an income in a safe environment, where you're not putting yourself in those dangerous situations. And if we can fund some people into STEM education, and we can get them doing the graphic designs in the metaverse, so then when they retire, they're not resorting to, it's a slippery slope of kind of, 1 minute you might be flying high on OnlyFans, you top 1%, and then the next minute, you're getting a bit older, you might have had a baby, things like that. Then they turn to, doing escorting and stuff like that, and it can go sour very, very quickly. So we want to put these things in place whereby they've got another opportunity. So it's like, actually, there's a place called Vice World, and I can go there and I can get, I can get some training, and I can do that with my life. Especially for people in the industry that are there because they don't feel like they've got any other options. They might think, oh, I'm too, I can't go back to college, it's too much, or I can't do this. And we just want to really put those barriers in place, but we want to do it in a flipping cool way. We don't want to be like, oh, I'm just scroll, it's very boring. We want to be like, pimps and dealers and music, and come to the metaverse, train, get a skill, sell your clothes. If you're a designer, you're a designer. If you've got a flair for making sex toys, come and make some sex toys. And then it's just great. It's just a great place to be. I mean, you don't always have to be solving problems with a product, because I'm, as I said, I'm trained in event management, and event management, we're all about having fun, having a good time. So, there's definitely a lot of my event experience being thrown into Vice World as well. So Vice World is kind of a reflection of my skill set, in that it's events and it's adult industry, and that's all I know. So it's them combined, and that is what makes Vice World special, is that it's got that flair, and
it's got that flared base, so to speak.
Yeah, it's got a flair, but it's cyberpunk, it's all of those good things. But then it's also got a serious side to it, is actually, we're doing something really good here as well. So I think that's always should be your goal when you're creating a business, is, one, is it interesting? Is it fun? Two, are people going to want to use it? Is it going to make money? And, are we putting, are we helping people with this? And we are. So, I can safely say that it's a brilliant concept, if I do say so myself.
I think that's great. Thank you. Thanks for the best of luck. Thank you, not Donald.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's always good, Benga. It's always glad to hear from you, and thank you for your response. Just going to throw you back on mute. Now, I do just want to touch quickly on, because you bring up a good point, in that when a lot of people think of adult film stars or adult actors, when they now most of them are really only getting to know them in probably the one way that they're immediately interested in, but consequentially, a lot of people think of adult actors and actresses as strictly in their adult acting roles. But when you mentioned that you have, these other skill sets like event management and entrepreneurship, like I have an event management background myself. It's really interesting, honestly, for people to see that that just how diverse the skill sets of a lot of these people in the industry actually are. And one of the biggest things as well with this and with what you're putting forward is it gives people an opportunity to see that that just how diverse the skill set of just everybody within this industry is, and like it's one thing for people to get to know, you know, actors in the industry just for the main role, but projects like this, I honestly have to say, it kind of breaks the stigma of you know, if you're in adult film, or if you're in sex work, that's all you do, and that's really the only skill you have. People actually have an opportunity to see that, you know, just because you're in you know, the adult industry or whichever, like, you still have there are people out there with so many different skill sets and talents and just experiences in so many different aspects of life, I guess. And so it's like projects like this. I hope to see. I guess I just hope to see more of these more things like this come out, because it just again, it opens up the perspective that that, you know, the people that you see in these businesses are more than just a pretty face to get your rocks off to, I guess.
We're human. Yeah, and I think you'll actually find that a lot of people in the adult industry are very resilient. They're very resilient people, have been through a lot of hardship majority of time, very resilient. You know, they're excellent marketers. They're marketing themselves in one way or another. You know, they have excellent sales skills. They normally have great, you know, Photoshop, graphic design skills, production skills. You know, all of these things are really good skill sets to have. But they don't have, you know, a diploma or whatever from it, because you don't get you know, anything like that. But yeah, I think breaking down those barriers is really key for me. And there's been a lot of performers that have said to me, like, wow, I can't believe you've gone out and done this, and I'd love to do this. And it's like, well, why can't you? You know, it's good to be one of the first people that's doing it, because then, you know, if one person does it, just takes one person to do it until there's a ripple effect. And then before you know it, you're going to have models that know at the end that actually I've got a shelf life, which all models do, unless you want to go into kind of, you know, DILF and GILF stuff.
Yeah, there's always a different demographic you can kind of transition away into down the road.
Yeah, and you know, the models do find themselves in poverty after, you know, they kind of not getting the calls anymore, and not getting, especially because of OnlyFans, a lot of the film sets, the money's gone down even more. It's gone down even more. It's just ridiculous. You know, and you know, they don't know what they're going to do. They don't know what they're going to do at the end of it. They're like, they don't know anything else. You know, they've been doing it for 15 years or whatever, you know, and they haven't got anywhere else to go. And then that's when it is touch and go, and it can get, you know, you've got the people that will kind of, you know, toe the line and might go back to college and struggle for a little bit and then do okay. But then you've got the other set of people that will take it very badly, and you know, they'll start going down the slippery slope of escorting, and then, you know, go from escorting to kind of, you know, you go from high-end escorting, and then you get, before you know it, you just, you know, street walking, and it really is a slippery slope.
They're putting themselves in much more riskier situations than is warranted, just to try and, it's kind of like chasing the dragon in a way, and that they had, you know, the success earlier on, and they're trying to chase that to just keep it going, but in doing so, they're taking on more and more risk, and they're leading themselves down a path that isn't necessarily beneficial to them, or could potentially put them in danger.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you get some people, they go into production and things like that, and that's brilliant. But you do get ones that you know, it can go bad. So it's, you know, where do porn stars go when they're old? That's like the old saying, isn't it? And you know, we want them to come to Vice World and be designers and do the assets and work in crypto. You know, we want that to be kind of a place where people know they can go. Or what are you going to do when you finish stripping? Well, I'm going to be a designer in Vice World. You know, like, you know, I can open a store in Vice World. You know, underwear, sex shops, everything. It's the metaverse. It's brand new. You can do what you want. It's brilliant. And, you know, we have really, really personable people on our team. Our adult team is made, you know, Melody and Sheffy. They're a couple from the Dutch community, and they've got their own production company, DM Movies, and they're really good. They're really down to earth people, and it's just having those adult performers that you can sit down and talk with as a performer and say, oh, I really want to train and be a graphic designer, but I don't know where to start. It's really good. So we've got one model working for us. She features in a lot of the NFTs, but she's doing a lot more of the graphic design, and she's loving it. She's making the NFTs, and they look beautiful.
Excellent. In the metaverse, you can do just what you want, and depending on the price, maybe even who you want.
Who you want, yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. So next question we have in the voice chat is from CH, who is a mod and unable to raise their hand. So CH, please go ahead and ask your question.
Hey guys, hey Donald, thank you so much for letting me ask my question. And to Jordana Fox, yeah, it's amazing to see you in video.
Thank you.
Anyway.
At least in video, in different context.
I think, can definitely tell that Donald is actually excited and enthusiastic about this AMA. Okay, anyway, getting to my question. Based on your project, like pornography or adult film related projects, it has a huge reach, like in terms of, sex is the sex industry offers a lot of coverage with a lot of people, especially nowadays. But it also limits it, especially on the areas where it's more conservative. But the thing about it is, like, there's this like line where it's also kind of sexual. Like, I think they call it like softcore in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, would there be any chance that you will have like an exclusive or like toned down version of your project, wherein people can view it without them having to worry about seeing what they're trying to avoid, which is like actual hardcore porn, and just be softcore ones?
So like a tiered system of explicitness, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of do have that. So we have VVibe. So VVibe is our community platform. It's a forum which is PG. So it's kind of like, it's just, there's no nudity or anything there. It's just kind of a networking sort of area. And attached to the VVibe is going to be the chat. So you go on and you just chat and you play games and you give people flowers and stuff, but it's non-nude. So we have something in the UK that I used to work on. It's called Babe Station TV. So you would have Babe Station TV in the night, and then you would have Babe Station Unleashed, which is kind of like the wild one, and then you'd have the daytime one. So that's kind of where that comes from. So we do have that. It's called VVibe. And then also in regards to the metaverse is actually away from, the Vice World TV site. The porn site is completely separate. So they're not in the same place. You're not going to see real graphic porn, in the metaverse. It's not because it's avatars. It's not, the real graphic porn is on the other site. And in regards to the metaverse, we are what we are in the metaverse. We're kind of, we're the underground with the DJs, aren't we? So, we're there with our chains and our whips. And I think, we're going to get the people. Sometimes you get people that, love you, and those people will come. And then you're going to get people that don't like us and they won't come, and that's fine. But, when you try and please everyone, you don't please anyone.
Exactly. You want to make sure that you please people and that they come, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the way I see it as well. Like, sometimes if you tone yourself down and you try and please everyone, you won't get the people that really love you. If you're just yourself and you're authentic and you have that, you this is what we are, this is what we do, and you'll get people that flipping love you, and they will come, and then we'll be a crew together. But yeah, we do have the VVibe stuff as well. But yeah. We hope to get a lot of people that are going to be like-minded like ourselves and love pimps and dealers and want to have that purple glow around them because they bought some lean in the metaverse, and it's fun, and it's just fun. It's just cool. It's like GTA meets Terminator meets God knows what.
Exactly. And as the old saying goes, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah,
anyway.
If you build it, they will come. And the thing is, if you the way I see it is, if I want to do this, if I want to be here, there's going to be other people like me that want to do this, and there's, you know, it's proving really popular with the you know, the pimps and the dealers. A lot of people want to be virtual pimps. You know, we've got girls saying, you know, make sure you get me a lady pimp, and you know, it's really good. You know, you get these catfish people that they want to live their life through you know, being an avatar, and if that gives them that escape, then, you know, come and do it here. You could be a dominatrix in the metaverse. You know, you can have your own dungeon. Go for it. Go wild.
Thank you for that. CH, does that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm glad that even I respect the fact that you're sticking with your you know, your main audience with what you wanted to show, like, you know, the explicit stuff. But I'm also glad that you have this like small space or area for people who do not want to, you know, see that. So yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and some people might be intimidated as well. It can be quite intimidating, you know, going into that hardcore situation, and you know, there's these virtual strippers and domination. Oh my god, what's going on? So yeah, I mean, V-Vibe's a nice place where you can go check in and kind of get to know people more on a kind of social level.
Thank you for that. Next question. Let's look over here. So I just gotta weed through a bunch here. While I'm waiting to pick a text question, let's go into the voice for Chase. Chase, please go ahead and ask your question. Chase, you're unmuted. Going once. Going twice.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
There we go. Well, we could hear you then, sir, but we can't hear anymore.
So actually, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Okay.
What is your question, sir?
Okay, sorry. My question is, you know, the crypto industry is fast-paced industry. How flexible is your project to change quickly and keep pace with technology? Okay. We know, as you all know, the crypto industry is fast-paced industry. How flexible is your project to change quickly and keep up with technology?
Sorry, you're really cutting out here, and we can't make out what you're saying.
The crypto industry is a fast-paced industry. How flexible is your project to change quickly and keep pace with technology trends? What is your long-term vision for the forecasting industry in which your project operates in? You got a question?
I struggled to hear that. Something about industry trends and how
Can
do
you
we
hear me?
see ourselves?
I meant, how flexible is your project to change quickly and keep pace with technology trends? You got a question?
Right. Yeah. Okay, so Vice World, we are building with NVIDIA software. Blender and Reallusion is one of the top kind of, you know, it's outpaced Apple in terms of growth for the past 5 years, and it's expected to overtake Apple in the next 5 years. So they're really good people to start to, you know, to lay down our foundations of our metaverse with by using that software. So we're already putting ourselves, you know, on quite a high bar to start with, which is always good. And in terms of flexibility and change, I think, you know, coming from the adult industry and the crypto space, we're used to that. So, you know, the good thing about the metaverse is that we can build, you know, it's ours for the taking. We can put those additional things in, and that's what we want to do. We want to break down barriers and put the urban music in, and kind of put the retail and the fashion in there. I mean, in regards to if anything just popped up and was popular, us jumping on it, probably not, because we're very focused on what we want to do. Vice World is, you know, it's very clear in my mind, the vision for Vice World. So, you know, it's not like I'd just be like, oh, this is in fashion now, I'm going to jump. But in terms of the technology, we're developing in, you know, the best kind of software that we can. And our, you know, the clothing and things like that, we can for sure keep up to date. So yeah, I mean, without diverting the course of the project, we can keep up to those things, but very much keeping it on Vice World, on brand.
Do you have any plans for community expansion? I mean, are you planning on moving your project to where English are really spoken?
Yeah, so I mean, we have a number of channels already. We have, several different languages channels. Our platform VVibe is available in any language. You can just click on the site and change it to any language. We have multiple creators that speak, more than 3 or 4 languages. So we're going to be doing the tutorial videos in those as well. But yeah, for sure. It's very small-minded to think that we would, it's very small-minded in terms of business to limit ourselves to only English. And anime. If you look at anime and hentai, I mean, there's primarily not English, speaking countries that kind of watch that. So yeah,
especially the Japanese community, of course.
Yeah, exactly. And the Japanese, they love the BDSM. They love that. So yeah, for sure, we want to make sure it's open.
Thank you for that, and thank you, Jason. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Now, going over to the text chat, we have a question from Alex Costa, who, in regards to the pre-sale, to take part in the Vice World pre-sale, most people need to fill in some information, also do KYC. How do you guarantee that investors' data will not be leaked and used for other things they don't want?
In the pre-sale?
Now, mind you, I don't actually... I'm not familiar with the Vice World pre-sale myself, or if it's already happened. So how relevant will this question be to the current circumstances then?
Yeah, so I mean, there's no forms to fill in or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, it's not the Vice World pre-sale because Vice Token was launched 9 months ago. Vice has been available for 9 months. So we're talking about the Dole Token pre-sale, which is on AVAX. So this is for Node City. It's a Vice World production. So the Vice World, the Dole Token, you just need to go on and buy the same way as you normally would. So you just go on and buy an NFT. There's no forms or anything like that to fill out. You just buy your NFT pass and then you'll airdrop your assets. So I'm not sure if that was a question that's really relevant to us.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to go through these questions because we are getting a lot of questions here to see which ones are exactly most relevant to the current circumstances. Sometimes we tend to get questions that are kind of thrown out there that are not actually relevant to the project being asked.
Yeah, I know. I've had loads of them before.
So next question, we're going to go in the voice chat to Venice. Venice, please go ahead and ask your question.
Nice name.
Nice city, too. Venice, you are unmuted. Going once.
Hello guys, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Jordan.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm cool. How you doing?
Good, very good.
Yeah. So hope I'm audible.
You are. We can hear you just fine. Please go ahead and ask a question.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for this great opportunity, and I do commend you guys for the great presentation. Well, I've been listening to this presentation for some times now, and it's a great one. So based off to you. So I just have a question based on the gaming aspect. Yeah. So I just want to know, what type of payment do you apply to make this game more easier for players? And also, will there be any options to connect our wallets while playing the game? And also, I'd like to know, can you describe your expectations of the gaming experience in which you'd like to improve it? Hope you get the question.
So in regards to connecting your wallet, there will be a connection because obviously you need to kind of load your information, which is all kind of Web3 based, to preload, your NFTs and all of your kind of information that's been rewarded. It's all blockchain based. So, I mean, yeah, in regards to that, there will be a wallet connect. With the world, how do we envisage it? I mean, it's a virtual world of Vice. So I mean, the only way I can describe it is kind of like GTA kind of vibes, but meets Cyberpunk and Terminator. So it's set in an industrial warehouse in 3001 initially, and then obviously it builds off of that, and we'll go into the urban scene, and kind of, you've got your dealers, so you can sell lean and you can sell weed, cannabis. There's different strains of those weeds that you can kind of breed and things like that, which is another in-game element, so you can have new strains of weed. And these NFTs, the weed NFTs and the lean NFTs, will actually give your avatar an effect. So for example, if you sip the lean, you'll have a purple ring around your avatar. So it's quite fun. So if you're at a concert, you can be kind of purple and glowy, and it's just cool. We're teaming up with kind of brands and collaborations. So for example, we were talking to somebody yesterday with Shot Girls in the metaverse. So they're a Shot Girl company in real life. So we're planning on bringing them on as a partner. So they'll provide all of the Shot Girls, and it'll be branded. So it'll be their shot. It'll be their kind of liquor that's for sale within the bars. So that's where we bring kind of corporate advertising and marketing in. There's a lot to it. I think. There's a lot to it to pitch the whole metaverse. But yeah, I mean, if you just think about it, it's very high spec. So the assets that we have sneak peeked and previewed, they are our actual assets. They've been designed from scratch by our designer. So it's quite a good quality. I think it's not pixelated kind of style. It's a realistic style that we're going for.
Okay, yeah, thank you for the answer. And also, I would like to know, how do you plan to keep your NFT production and demand in perfect balance for their market and asset value for implementing? And also, how will you ensure that the reward for players remains stable and attractive to encourage mass adoption? You got the question?
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually. So if we've got a really good reputation scheme that's in place. So if you're making daily sales and you're selling your nodes every day and getting your rewards, and you're being a proper paper hand, as we like to call it here on the BSC, you're going to get your reputation rate is going to be going down. Now, the top 100 people will get a legend card. So if you make legend status, the top 100 people within that legend status will be displayed within the metaverse in an art gallery. And you'll also get a trophy or a medal. We haven't decided yet. So when you're in the metaverse, people will know that you're a legend and that you don't sell. There'll be tax reductions as well in the following cycle. So if in the first cycle you've got diamond hands and you're not kind of selling all the time, you're going to get rewarded in terms of tax. We'll say, okay, next time we're not going to tax you so much because you've proved yourself. So you'll get like a year's kind of tax rebate, we'll probably call it. There's a really good thing attached to this reputation. And if you are a paper hands and you're selling all the time, just like we have the legend status, we're going to have a kind of a real status for the people that don't do great. And yeah, they're going to have a little asset as well that follows them around the metaverse. So I don't think anybody wants that. I think that answered the question. I'm sorry if I've missed the first part. I've got a very busy brain at the moment. I don't know if you can remind me.
Thank you for the great answer. And also, I do commend you for the great presentation. So,
thank you
for the opportunity, Donald Trump. Nice project.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you very much, Venice.
Yeah, do you mind if you send me a DM? Yeah, do you mind if you send me a DM?
Jordana or me?
Okay.
I'm not sure who he means.
Well, we've got plenty of time to figure that out later. And
yes.
That being said, we only have time for one more question here, so we're going to go to Jeff Walter in the voice chat. Jeff, please go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, man. Thanks for the opportunity, man. I appreciate you guys. Node City. Actually, to be honest with you, guys, this project's actually looking healthy, man. So, my question, I actually have two-part questions. Which one is direct side to the token itself? So just want to know if you guys have plans for expansions of your token outside the space, if there would be real use cases of your tokens and in the real world. If you have plans to make those in the real world to make use of your tokens. And also, the second question is about if your project should explore just unexpectedly maybe more sales and also more sales than expected, and also lots of to be honest, expansion to say. So, what are you guys' plans to manage the marketing system?
Yeah.
Did you understand my question?
Yeah, I did. Thank you for your question. So, I mean, in terms of having a real world utility, I think building these relationships, as I've said, for cross marketing with the other adult companies. So, the adult retail companies, the adult VR porn companies, the adult, lingerie companies. All of these kind of companies that we can cross market with, we can also look to do exclusive things in their shop whereby they can sell those for Vice token. Also what I want to do is as well, pulling on my event management skills, is I do want to have some really exclusive nights, party nights and stuff, whereby you can get lap dances in exchange for chips, and obviously the chips you would have bought with your Vice token or with your Dole token. So that is something that I do want to do because I just love a good party. So I do want to do those. And yeah, of course, the currency of those would be Vice or Dole token or whichever, but having Vice token with the utility for other adult projects and other adult platforms would be amazing. To be able to, like I said, to be able to buy sex toys with Vice token would be fantastic. However, we do have, we have an 8% tax on our Vice token. So, this is whereby we're looking at in a not so distant future is removing the taxes from Vice token, because to have it, work within those kind of, in those ways, you need to kind of remove those taxes. And as the Vice World and Node City become established and they get their stable floor, we having the revenue coming from our marketing partners and from our business collaborations, whereby we can afford to take those taxes off the token, and then we can really start pushing it into kind of strip clubs and things like that. I mean, I've worked in millions and millions of bars. I don't even know how many, but I've worked in a lot of bars and I've got a lot of connections. I love events. I love all that stuff. So yeah, of course, having that in there would be fantastic.
Stuff, man. Great stuff to you guys. Cheers to you guys. So,
Thank you.
was wondering, some kind of people just tend to consider if they should be facing some issues, what they would do to resolve those issues. But talking on the other aspect, when it comes to success, when you guys feel have so much success than expected, when there are so much buy than expected, how you guys gonna control the buying the marketing system? That was actually my question. I don't know if you got the second part of the question.
How are we going to control the marketing?
Yeah. I mean, where are you guys having plans for marketing expansions, like making some partnership with other firms? Yeah.
I mean, as I've touched upon, I've got contacts with, shop companies, shop girl companies, liquor companies, adult sex shops. We want to be at the exhibits, at the crypto exhibits. We've got somebody going out to Miami doing one there. That's already lined up. We've got one coming up in London in November. So yeah, I mean, in terms of kind of making connections that way, yes. And then we've got the adult awards, which are coming up. And obviously we've got our own porn series. So we're going to be potentially up for some awards at those events, not just kind of sponsoring them, but actually there with a product, which is really good. So I mean, in terms of marketing, you know, we have got a specialist marketing manager for that, and you know, we do press releases that will be going out. I think we've got 320 press releases going out to a number of publications in the coming weeks. So I think we're pretty well covered with marketing. Yeah, I mean, cross promotion and making the marketing within those partnerships count is really important. But thank you for your question. I hope I've answered it.
Great stuff, Nod City. Appreciate you guys. Thanks,
Thanks,
Donald.
guys.
Appreciate you, man. Great stuff.
Appreciate it, sir. Thank you, Jeff Walter, for your questions as well. And I guess you could say that Jordana Fox knows plenty about expansion.
But I have to go soon, guys. It's been great. It's been fantastic.
Super understandable. And it's absolutely a pleasure having you. I got to say that for the Vice World and Node City, for the Vice tokens, the DAL tokens, the holders will have plenty of different ways to become satisfied as part of the ecosystem. Because, as we all know, you just can't satisfy yourself when you have paper hands. So before we go, do you have any final closing statements that you'd like to make to the Phoenix Holdings community?
Just that the pre-sale of the pimps, the dolls, and the dealers is going on tonight. So if you want to grab one, then be quick. If you're not quick enough, then there'll be another pre-sale on the AVAX chain in 7 days for the 222 Harmony nodes. So you can join us on Discord or Telegram. I'm pretty sure that you're going to drop our links. So that would be fantastic.
We'd be glad to do so. CryptoAnt, would you like to chime in before we go?
No, it's an absolute pleasure being so much fun being on here. So thank you guys and thank your awesome community. For the pre-sale, I think we're giving away some gold NFTs tonight later on, and that will get you an early whitelist spot to the Crazy 80 asset drop. You're going to need to have those gold NFTs in your wallet in the next kind of 30 minutes before the drop starts. So if you win one, distribute them quick if you want that whitelist spot for the Crazy 88 assets that we're dropping out tonight. But apart from that, thank you again. Thank you so much. It's been fun.
Thank you.
Been an absolute pleasure. Thank you both. And I just want to say that for those of you who did not get an opportunity to get your questions asked here tonight in tonight's AMA, you're welcome to hop over to the Vice World Token Telegram group at t.me/viceworld with no O_token, and any questions that you further have there, you can ask yourself there, and the community will be happy to answer. So I just want to say thank you again to Jordana Fox and to the CryptoAnt from Node City by Vice World Token for joining us here tonight in the Phoenix Holdings studio. It was a pleasure having you, and we wish you all the best for your project.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
And if you enjoyed Jordana Fox here on video tonight, you'll enjoy her even more on ViceWorld.tv. So give it up once again for the team from Node City for ViceWorld. So now that you heard from the team, it's time for you to decide. Are you bullish on this project? Or are you bearish? Will you ape in? Or will you G out? And with that, that brings us to the end of another episode of Late Night Live with Not Donald Trump. Thank you again to Phoenix Holdings for the opportunity to have us in your studio tonight, and thank you all for tuning in with us. Have a good night, and we'll see you all next time. Reminder to help control the G population. Spay and neuter your friends and family.